Hey y'all, Ben with Hook and Reel here. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I wanted to first start out by apologizing for not uploading last week. I was on vacation and I just decided to, take a break for a minute. As you saw a couple videos ago, I did a whole boat walkthrough of my new boat. Something I wanted to do is kind of tell you guys the story of what happened with the old boat, really the story of the new boat, kind of everything before I kind of showed you guys the new boat. So as you guys know, been having some issues with the CPro. I kind of pointed out some of the issues in the spring maintenance video I did of the CPro. So we did a lot of things. Like I said, I kind of showed you guys some of the stuff that was happening with it, and there was some stuff that I didn't mention to you guys. So there was a misfire on one of the cylinders. Basically, it was going to end up being a lot of money to fix everything to get that motor, 100% true, running 100%. Then the trolling motor was having issues. I think you guys saw that. I ended up putting another trolling motor on it, one that didn't have spot lock, so it wasn't nearly as good. The shaft wasn't long enough really for that boat either. It was like barely under the water, so any waves that passed by, the propeller came up. It was just something temporarily. The other thing too was, it's a big boat, and I bought it for my family, to take my family out, and it was doing its job for that. But with all those issues, like my stress levels were like up here every time taking the boat out. But with the motor issues, the main thing, with that misfire is the boat would die. It was always that end of the day run. It would start having issues, halfway through the run. If you're talking like a 20-minute run from the fishing spot back to the dock, about halfway through it, the motor would kind of start misfiring and then kind of slowing down. You'd start to lose some miles per hour as the ride went along. So that was super annoying every time. But then the worst part was the motor wouldn't idle the best as you're pulling into the dock. Like normally what I would do, because I grew up on boats, is you have a person on the front and then I'm driving the boat so that the other person will back the trailer down into the water. You drive the boat up and then you slowly creep up, idling, and then they hop off and you reverse real hard, so you're not touching the dock or anything. It's seamless when it works right, but with this boat, it just would not do that, and it would die. So there was a couple times where I just rammed the dock super hard. No damage or anything, which is good, but man, just my stress levels every time going out, especially by myself, having to deal with that, it was always a mess. So, with all that accumulating, I decided that it was time to sell the boat. So during that process, I was keeping my eye out for any other boat to replace that, and I decided that I wanted to move into a smaller boat and a bass boat, preferably, because my youngest kid is big enough now that even that tall gunnel on the CPro, the bay boat style, was not tall enough anymore to keep him down, so he could climb up on the fishing deck on the front and the back deck on the back, so he could just climb into the water whenever he wanted to. So that wasn't really doing what I needed it to anymore, to keep him down so he wouldn't just jump out of the boat randomly. And my oldest kid, she's big enough that she listens and knows not to jump out of the boat. So with all that, I was like, all right, let's move to a bass boat. My kids are somewhat big enough now that that's fine, as long as they have their life jackets on, of course. So I'm keeping my eye out this whole time while I'm trying to get the boat up to snuff and, fix what I can, clean it, make it pristine. Something I'm gonna gets me a little heated when I talk about it, but Anyway, someone messaged me about the boat because I posted it on Facebook Marketplace, and someone messaged me about a trade. And, I had a lot of people messaging me about the boat, and kind of when they learned some of the issues, they weren't really that interested. And, I understand, but, still a pretty nice boat. So he was interested in a trade because he wanted this, like the bay boat style. He wanted a CPro. So it kind of worked out. And I wanted a bass boat, and that's what he had. So I ended up driving 2 hours to meet him at a lake. So a 4-hour round trip basically, but 2 hours there, 2 hours back. Drove up there in North Carolina to meet him. And we, test drove each other's boats. His ran great. It was a little older and a little bit more beat up than I would have liked, but honestly, I was feeling pretty desperate at that point. Let's just hope this works out. He knows how to work on boats, so he can figure it out. And, we spent, 3 hours just, test driving, and then he, was doing compression tests and all the stuff, which is good on his part. And we ended up not making the trade work. So then I drove 2 hours back, and boy, was I defeated. I was so upset, with all the stress of just like, I'm just gonna have to keep this boat. I have to keep putting more money into it. It really was taking a lot of money to keep the boat running. Pretty defeated. And then a week or so later, this guy messages me about the boat and is wanting to buy it. He said it's everything he wants. He's like, I want the CPro. He's like, that's what I've been searching for months. Long story short, he had another opportunity to buy another CPro like mine, like the 21 foot that I had, and he passed it by, and he's regretted it ever since. So he has I think it's a 18 or 19 foot bay boat style boat that he loves, put a brand new motor on it, and he just wanted the bigger size. From his other boat, he had a trolling motor, 2 Garmin live scopes on there. He had the full thing, and he's like, I just want the boat. He's like, I'm gonna swap the motor, I'm gonna put my trolling motor on, my electronics on, and he just wanted to buy the boat straight up, no trades or anything like that. So I took a little bit off the price. I'm gonna end up taking my trolling motor off. I'm leaving the electronics on so he can either keep that or resell it, because it's already wired and everything, so he thought he might maybe keep it. He's actually going to swap his brand new motor from his other boat onto this boat. I believe it's a 140 horsepower, but brand new. He's going to swap that onto this boat and then put my CPro motor onto his other boat and then sell that. So he'll make some decent money back off of reselling that. So it kind of was the perfect deal. We came to an agreement on the price, which worked out great for me. So we couldn't end up meeting anytime soon. So I think he said in the next week or so. Stay tuned for that. So we did something kind of crazy. We just picked up this Bass Tracker 175 TXW. Just bought it. Super excited about it. Look at that bad boy right there. But guys, I'm pumped. Look at that thing. Got the power pole. It's gonna be sick. Talk to you in a sec. All right, guys, so that was a little crazy. So we're kind of doing things out of order, and I went ahead and pumped the bass boat before officially selling the CPro. We're still in agreement on, meeting up very soon to do the exchange. But this opportunity came up with this boat, amazing price, and, I just went for it. Took a leap of faith in trusting the guy that he's gonna buy the CPro, and went ahead and bought that boat. So now I got 2 boats. So I'm high rolling right now, and hopefully we can sell this boat real soon. So stay tuned for that. So kind of a sad day, but the Guy is on his way to come purchase the CPro. I just took the trolling motor off. He's got one of his own that he wants to put on. I'm gonna take the cover off, jack it up, and try and wash it one more time. It's been sitting for, a week and a half, and it's kind of gotten real dirty again. So I'm gonna try and spray it off for him before he comes. He will be here in about an hour. And I also got to play some musical chairs with the new boat. That's my dad's truck, by the way. He let me borrow it for the time being. I gotta move that, push this to the front, and then push the new boat back here. Anyway, not a lot of time, so let's get going. There she goes. Bye-bye. So we ended up, the agreement that we agreed to held true. He didn't try and, bring the price down any further. We talked for a while, and he was like, just list off everything, because he's going to resell the motor and everything. So he's like, I'll fix what I can, put it on the other boat. So, figured all that out, and it worked out. It's sad. I'm sad to see the CPro go. Had a lot of good memories on it, but, it's just for the best. And, I've taken the new boat out a couple times since then, and boy, what a dream that is, that just fires up and just works. Like, that's how it's supposed to be. So, I can't wait. Me and the guy that I sold the CPro to have some good rapport. So, he said that he'll let me know when he swaps that motor over and, sells the other boat and all that. Because I want to see what it looks like with the new motor and how it runs. Because the boat itself is solid. Like, it's a good boat. Has a couple quirks, but it just needs a new motor, and that boat would be awesome. So I'm excited. He's putting a new motor on it. I want to see what happens to it. So I got an update on the boat. I messaged the buyer, and these are the photos that he sent me. So he put the brand new motor on it, and he said he found a chemical that you just spray on the exterior of the boat, and it got rid of all the staining from the water. He said he didn't even need to scrub it. It just came right off. So as you guys can see in this photo, it looks brand new. He said he's already making new memories on the boat with his grandkids, and he said it's the last boat he's going to own. He also put the steps on, which much needed for that boat. He's an older guy too, so he definitely needed that. That was going to be one of my upgrades if I kept it, but alas, it's great. I'm really excited for him. It looked like he did the bunks too on the trailer, so everything is awesome. He said he put his 2 Garmin's on the boat, so he has one on the center console and on the front of the boat for fishing, and he says he loves it, so it's great. But that's the story, guys, and it worked out. Took a leap of faith, and it worked out this time, and I'm so much happier. If the other boat worked, I wouldn't have sold it, but the smaller boat, for me, especially because I go out a lot by myself, it's just easier on my car. It tows it a lot better, brakes easier, and it's just easier for me to take it on and off the trailer. It's got the step, whole shebang. I wanted to, tell you guys that story, if of course, if you were interested, but just in case some of you all had questions, because I didn't really say anything about selling the other boat or anything like that. So, but with all that being said, guys, if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate it, and we'll catch you in the next one.